dude, what happened to us? We disappeared. We were on a roll. We probably did most of the podcast episodes over the summer.
Well, yeah, and then we started school.
Right.
And then we took turns. You were sick.
Yeah.
Then I was sick.
Then we both got sick again.
Then we both were sick again. And then we had parent conferences. And then your kids were sick. And it's like just constant back and forth sick.
Everyone's sick. Listener, you probably got sick too. Hello, my time crunch teachers, and welcome to the we're probably still a little sick, but not really sick show.
I think my voice is permanently changed.
Oh, that's okay. That happens. It happens to the best of us. This is your team teacher, Mariel Desrosier, here to help you optimize your teaching technology and time management. With me today is third grade teacher Stephanie Hedgpeth-Lopez.
Hello.
And if I have not mentioned it, or you haven't, this is your first episode, I am currently teaching fifth grade with Stephanie. Today, though, it's kind of perfect that we've been missing for so long on the podcast, because today we're going to talk about what to do after a school break. After you haven't been at school for a little while. But what we're discussing, because we're recording this at the very beginning of December, we're talking about our winter break and what to do when you return from that. However, a lot of what we're going to share applies to even coming back after, a short, if you're in the U.S. Thanksgiving break or even summer break or any of those. These are the type of things that you would do anyways after the kids have been out of school for a while. I actually looked back in a lot of my lesson plans or notes of when it was COVID and we were doing online learning, and then we came back and we did like hybrid or kids in front of us or whatever. I went back to see, what did I do when we actually came back into the classroom? What did I have to review? Most of it was just
so far away,
yelling at children to stay 6 feet apart. Remember how 6 feet apart was such a big...
And all that, we had the little divider things, and someone was always knocking it over, and it was this huge... And then there was those children that treated it like their office cubicle, and they would start hanging stuff all over it.
Yeah, they decorate it. So what Stephanie is talking about is many schools had these large plastic partitions. You know what they kind of reminded me of those trifold science fair boards, except they were clear, you could see through them. And the kids had them around their desks, and many of them decorated it like it was their own little personal office. And then they would touch them and they'd be all smeary.
Yeah, and then they like I said, they would fall over and collapse in the middle of a lesson. That was fun.
Oh yeah, when they fell over, they made a wonderful loud noise that would spook everybody. Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. So we'll talk about other stuff we did when we came back. So what we want to talk about first is kind of focusing on, we have quite a long winter vacation. So we have close to 3 weeks. And part of that is because a lot of our school population is part of the migrant farm worker population. And so they will travel for work. And because of that, we don't want the district, long time ago, when I was a kid.
Yeah,
it was
when I was
forever
a kid.
ago.
Even when I was a kid.
They decided that, we don't want the kids
around
to be losing, missing so much school. And we actually have a lot of really great migrant ed programs in our district, which is great. But anyways, I think we have a longer winter break than most schools. And we don't have that week off in February that some schools in the U.S. do. But anyways, so Stephanie and I were talking about what to do when you come back from that break, because it will be as if you are starting over. The children will have forgotten all the things.
But before you even go on your break, do whatever you can to make sure everything is ready for the day you come back, the Monday or the Wednesday or whatever day it is.
Oh, that's such a good tip.
So that if you do actually take a break and are able to completely forget about your teaching life and actually enjoy your family and stuff, that that one day is already prepped and you'll be fine.
That's a really good point. So what Stephanie's talking about is make your photocopies, have your little first coming back to school assignment.
And just review everything you've just been doing, because they have forgotten.
Yeah, and like you were talking about before we hit record, a lot of times you don't have all your students leaving up to the break, right? Kids are either out sick or they left early, or whatever, or the students just forget. So make that week back review anyways, because there'll be kids that miss content. There is nobody in the copy room that like Friday before
Oh, yeah.
the winter break. It's perfect.
Go nuts.
You can make all the color printouts you want, all the like paper that you want is already, and it's rough. Like, because when, that bell rings right before the break starts, you want to just split, but it is so worth it just to spend, or if you luck out and have a prep that last day or whatever it might be, just getting ready for the day back. And things as simple as just having the agenda up or all the things you do normally, on a Monday morning.
Have that, know where your math book is, because, like, where is my stuff? Just have it all sitting there, just ready to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. Assuming you don't work at a school, I swear there was a school one year that, like, did all the carpets or something over winter break, so we had to like half pack up the classroom. And then, anyways, hopefully you don't work in a school that does that. But yeah, prep everything before you go. The other thing too to prep before you leave is, I learned this the hard way. I used to save really fun units before break started because I was a crazy person. Like, they don't need it. The students don't need exciting things right before a big break. They are already bonkers and excited. So if you have a really great, novel or a book, is going to be a huge hit, or maybe there's some social studies unit that's the kids always love, or some brand new math manipulatives, whatever it may be, tease it a little bit before you leave. Like, you can put the manipulatives out and be like, no, you can't touch them. That's when we come back in January. Or you can put the copies of the books out on their desk and say, hey, when we come back from break, we're going to be reading this book. So they can come back and be excited about something, like something to look forward to.
That's a good idea.
But also so that when the kids come back and they take a while to kind of ease into the routines and procedures again, you have something fun and exciting to get them motivated when they return. But yeah. All right. So the other thing to keep in mind is that not everybody's break is going to be a vacation or something fun. So, some students do get to do fun stuff like go skiing or go visit relatives over that vacation break. But some kids are at home watching a younger sibling because their parents are still working. And the kids, like my 5th grader now has to be childcare for their siblings. Or like we mentioned earlier, if you have a population that's migrant farm workers, they leave and they need to, many times the children, again, are either caretakers or they're working as well. And so the reason why, Stephanie, I wanted to talk about that or to note that is it's very common. I mean, I saw it as a kid, but I also saw it as a teacher. When you come back from a break, whether it's summer vacation or winter break, many teachers very sweetly will do an assignment that's like, write about what you did or share what happened. And I probably did that at the beginning of my career. But the problem is I never want a kid to feel embarrassed that maybe they didn't get the same sort of presence that other students did, or they didn't get to do the fun things.
Or they were, maybe they were in an uncomfortable family situation for a couple weeks or something.
Yeah, totally. Many, like for me personally, I was staying with my parent who didn't have custody with me for me during the regular part of the year, right? And so, yeah, you're in a different household with different people, and maybe that situation's great and maybe it's not. And so having students write about that, either they're not going to write anything, or they're in that uncomfortable position of having to make something up or lie, which is why I love your idea. Will you share what you do after summer? Is it summer vacation that you
After summer vacation, there's a book, and I can't remember the title. I think it's by Mark Teague. It's like how I spent my summer vacation or something, and all the kids are up, and they're telling about it, and he goes off on this thing about he was a cowboy, and he wrestled up cows, and he did all this great stuff, and it was very obviously the end made it up. So I know a couple times I've read that book and go, wow, what did you do on summer vacation? And you get to say whatever you want. And so it might be a good way for kids. So if they really did, go skiing or something and they want to write about it, they can. But if not, they can say whatever, and it doesn't matter. They're free to
I like that they get to make something up, or they get to think of, a fantasy activity. So that's an alternate way to do it too, or open it as an option if you still have a unit or something you like when they return, giving students the option to do that. With that said, when you do return, when they all walk into the classroom, you have to let them talk.
Well, they're going to anyway.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You might as well let them.
That's true. They're going to be so excited to see each other or to share about what happened or to chit chat. So when I say talk, I don't necessarily mean, like talk about some prompt you want them to. I mean, quite literally, just let them talk at each other about whatever they want for, depending on the age, at least 5 or 10 minutes, where they get to sit and talk, and they could be doing something like they're slowly unpacking, or maybe they're straight at their desk,
like it's
or whatever.
Colored sheet, color math sheet. I always like color math sheets because they do a little math, and
Exactly, something like that. But they can sit next to who they want to and chit chat. Yeah, because they're going to do it anyways. Or if the weather is permitting, take them outside and do a little activity where they're sort of doing a modified recess or PE or something, where they're out there playing, doing something fun.
Get them tired.
If it sounds like Stephanie and I are randomly cut off in our conversation, it's because we are. Because I'm hitting the pause button every now and then so we can not have to cough into the microphone. Oh, that's originally what we were going to talk about. Our episode was how to deal with being sick at school. But I can't bring myself to talk about it again because we've just been
Because we've been doing it for about 2 weeks.
And I keep thinking we get better. I keep telling everybody we're better. But then another person in Lunch Bunch will get sick. And then I think we spread it amongst each other.
Well, then my husband went to the doctor because he was like, wow, this has been a long time. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's going around last 2 to 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, great.
Like all of us.
Forever.
All right. So the other thing that you can totally do at a break, and we want to give full permission to everyone for this one, is you can completely change something. And the break is the perfect time to do it. And I remember, Stephanie, you and I were mentoring a new teacher, and, she was asking for assistance with classroom management, and it was either right before Thanksgiving break, but maybe it makes me think it was right before winter break. And you gave her really great advice, which was you can just start something brand new when you come back.
We're doing this now. You're getting ready for whatever grade. Yeah. And this is what you have to learn how to do. So we're going to start now.
Exactly. Like, for example, I teach 5th grade, and that's the last grade in our elementary school. And so, I can come back and say, hey, you're getting ready for middle school. So we're going to change whatever, this part of the routine, or we're going to change how we do, if you do class points or what your management system, whatever it might be, you can do that. And the kids won't question it. I've never had a kid question, like, why are we changing that?
No, they usually don't. I just say, we're changing it. And a lot of times they'll go, this isn't working, or, we need something new. Or like I said, I'm getting you ready for the next, I always relate it to video games, is you're going to the next level, guys.
That's what you're leveling up.
Leveling up.
Yeah, don't stick with something just because you thought you needed to do it that way. Whether it is something as, whatever, curriculum based as how you structure your math lessons, or if it is something like classroom management. Say you started with group points and now you're realizing they can't really handle sitting in groups. All of you that have your students in groups, I don't have my students in groups, by the way. Because I'm not good at managing the talking. I talk too much. They talk too much. We all talk. I talk. You talk. We all talk. I walk by your classes and I'm in awe that you have them in groups.
Well, I do right now, but they're constantly changing. And I found I had to, they're in groups. We're in partners. We're in trios. We're far apart. Usually right before big tests, we go into arrays so that we're in rows.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because so we're not always constantly moving our desks back and forth. But it just kind of depends, and I do change them frequently, and I know that's kind of hard on some kids. Sure, there'll be often the kids that is one thing. If you have kids that are really sensitive to change, you might want to make sure that you somehow talk to them about it.
That's a really good point.
Even when I move desks around, there are certain kids I know kind of feel weird being in a different spot. And so I'll always put them in the same spot, even though everything else around them has changed. Sure. So they feel like they're in their little home base.
That's a really good point. Yeah, because nothing says that you have to move every single kid to a new spot.
Move all the kids around them.
Yeah. But that's another thing, too, is, if you're noticing that there's a particular classroom dynamic with your seating chart, change it. I mean, I've changed it midweek. I don't even wait for like the weekend. Sometimes I'll just move kids around.
It's hard when after school's in there because I can't move them around while they're there. But
right.
I'll just come in like, okay, I've had it. These 2 kids are talking all the time, and I'll just move them all.
Yeah, exactly. So we got another pause because I get to have a date night tonight, and my parents came to get the kids.
I'll be leaving. I'll be leaving for her date night.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That made it sound like me and you are having a date night. We're always with each other. No, my husband and I have a date night, but my parents are picking up the kids, and the kids have been very pumped. They were like little puppies looking out the window waiting for Grandma and Grandma to show up, so we had a pause. But anyways, let's talk about the things... Oh, I know we're talking about how teachers could totally change stuff.
Things, yes.
Yeah, like you have permission to change things. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new teacher or a veteran teacher. Breaks are such a great time to change things. Like Leanna and I, the other 5th grade teacher, we're changing up how we structure our ELA lessons and how we teach benchmark and stuff. And we're super excited about it. So yeah, you can change things. And it's especially a really good time if this is your first year teaching to look at your classroom management. And if your systems or structures, whether you're doing brag tags or points or whatever, if it just doesn't feel like it's working, just do something different.
Chuck it.
Yeah. Talk to some of your teacher pals before break starts, and I guarantee somebody has something.
Plus,
that you can steal.
You might have this really great thing and you used it before, or you saw somebody else use it, it was great, and then your class doesn't jive with it. Doesn't work.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because it's not even... You can just totally blame the children.
I told you. I swear they get together at the beginning of the year and they we're going to be the class that reads a lot, but we're also going to hum and not let anybody know who it is. Okay, do that. And then they all get together, and that's what they do all year.
My students have been doing this like whistle thing. Like this. They grab their lower lip in this way and they suck in air. I'm not going to do it because it'll be so loud on the mic. And it makes sort of like the PE teacher whistle, like the 2-finger, where they can hear you across the... They've been doing that, and it's super unnerving. And it's really hard for me because, unlike their voices that I can actually tell, the whistles all sound the same. So I feel like
there's that weird, indiscriminate hum.
Oh, yeah.
That you can't even tell where it's coming from. Like, what? That and the tapping of the pencils. I foolishly showed them this little video. So dumb. Of somebody talking about how when they were a kid, they were tapping, and everybody else used to get mad at them for tapping. But this one teacher saw in them that they were musical and encouraged it, and then they ended up being a great drummer or something.
Right.
And after I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was such a mistake.
Because now they all think they're going to be drummers.
Yeah. Well, but what if I'm a drummer? Oh my gosh. No.
You can't all be drummers.
No,
only 3 of you. No.
I've been trying to say, okay, you can tap, but do it on your legs. See, that doesn't make noise.
Yes, that was, I can't remember what teacher I saw that did that once, where it was totally nonverbal too. They just like quietly like kind of pushed the kid's hand towards their lap, and the kid tapped on their lap instead of on the table, and that makes a huge difference. But it's no fun because they want to hear it, so they're going to hit their desk
with their pencils.
The worst part...
They can amazingly find to do that, but they can't find when it's time to write. I was just thinking about this one kid. It's like, you just had 2 of them, and now you don't know where anything is.
That's true. They have no problem finding 2 equal length workable pencils when they need to be drumsticks, but ask them to take out their math notebook and start taking notes, and magically all the pencils disappear. Another reason as a parent not to have your kid be the drummer is because band practice will always be at your house. So, word to the wise, if you're a parent right now, this is so bad. I'm like, no whistling, no drumming. No, but seriously, because the drummer can't move their whole kit to the other people's house. So
that's right.
If your kid is the drummer in the band practice will always be at your house. Bet you didn't think about that, parents. That's right. Okay. Besides crushing children's musical dreams, what we do in our other spare time. When you come back, hopefully the drumming has lessened or, whatever. But that is the perfect time to assume that they have forgotten all the routines. And even if you're the type of teacher where the kids know it down pat, when you come back, you still need to review it. You know, all the little...
Because as it is, there's days when you have to review it when they're there.
True.
5 seconds later, you know?
Right.
When I asked them not to do that, didn't mean it was okay for you.
Yeah, and so even if you're not changing anything, review the routines, review the procedures, go over your classroom management stuff, go over whatever cues you do, and spend, you know, it depends on the age level, but if you're working with middle school and up, you know, it's probably just that one class period or 1 or 2 days, depending on what the attendance is like. Lower elementary, it's pretty much that whole week. The whole week you're going over. And that's assuming, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's assuming you're starting on a week that's a full week and it doesn't have a weird schedule or a wacky schedule.
I don't even know what we're doing this year.
We start on it's like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Because I remember we end on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So we get 3 weeks.
We end on a Tuesday or Wednesday this
year?
year?
I think we end on a Wednesday. It's because, and that's the day that they do the little song performance thing.
Oh, I mean for winter. I thought you meant the end of the year. I'm like,
no,
what?
No, sorry. For winter, yes. And so then we come back on, you know, like a Tuesday.
Well, yeah, because it was getting to that point where it'd be like
5
Christmas
weeks.
Eve.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which, you know, as a kid, it used to bother me that Frosty the Snowman, that cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
Those kids were at school on Christmas Eve.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, I'm like,
they are.
What are these kids doing in school? Why are they there? It really bothered me.
Those teachers probably worked in a
non-union
state.
Nuts.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, they were singing Snowman. They were Looney Tunes by then.
I always think that Rudolph is really forgiving, considering he was bullied his entire life by these other deer.
The message we teach the children: be like Rudolph. Be unique. Be your own self. Have a shiny nose.
If my peers bullied me for my entire life, and then on the big day, Santa's like, "No, Mariel, we need you," I would pull us all into the ocean. No, I was kidding.
Yeah? No.
That got dark. No, but seriously, like Rudolph is very forgiving, considering how horrific his friends were to him,
especially in the cartoon version.
Now I want to rewatch it because
they're
the kids they are, and the kids are there in school. What kind of world?
I don't know, but everything's white. Like all their furniture, everything is like monochromatic.
Right. What are we supposed to be talking about? No, I'm just kidding. Coming back after break.
Oh, it was that our break this year is in the middle of the week because it was too early in December to have us go off on the Friday. So they're like, oh, let's just keep going. But if they went to the Friday, it would have been
for
like Christmas Eve, like in Frosty the Snowman.
You're really good at remembering what got us off track, and I'm really good about getting us off track. We're the perfect pair.
You know why? Because I do this frequently in class. I think you have a couple of them. They would know how to get me off track.
Yeah,
just go and
it's too fun. It is super fun. And because in middle school, I never. Well, not never. I mean, probably if any former student listened, they'd be laughing. I not as frequently got off track because you're teaching these 50-minute blocks or 85-minute blocks, and so you're the only time you're going to see the kids that day and whatever. Man, I got fifth graders all day. We can get off track whenever. I got time. I can make it up after lunch. It's cool. We'll move things around. And
that's teachable moments that come up.
Exactly. The kids like hearing our goofy stories. But when you get back from break, it's really important, if you can, this is what I was thinking about of coming back in midweek versus a full week, is having a consistent schedule. Because like you mentioned, the students who change is really hard. Well, many students change is hard for them. But coming back, having a different routine, having a different schedule, it is so comforting if they have that predictability. That's what I was going to say.
So basically we're telling you this is the time to change, but don't change anything.
That's right. This is the time to change, but when you come back, it has to be the same. No, but the schedule. Like we go to PE at this time and, we do this. Unless you change it. One year, I had such a bonkers class. Why do anyways, most people teach PE like whatever in the middle of the day or towards the end just because the kids can have a break. I had to teach PE first thing. They had to do PE first thing because they had to just get it out of their system, and then they were chill. It's like taking the dog to the dog park and having them run around and get all the energy out. And then on their car ride home, they're awesome about it.
See, that was my theory, to do it right after lunch so they could run around and then come and do small groups, and it was working really great until recently. But then I don't know if it's just somebody told them it was December, or December was coming, because they actually started a couple weeks ago. Although I think it's partly because the routines got off. We had Thanksgiving, and we had...
that kind of sound like Stephanie just accidentally bumped the mic thing, but it's
talking with my hands.
It kind of sounded like a thunderstorm.
It did. Ooh. What were we saying? Oh, we had all these, parent conferences. Our schedules were all messed up, and I really think... Plus, I was out sick. I'm never sick. And suddenly they had a sub, and they had different subs.
Right.
And I think so you can kind of see that all these little changes kind of gets them off. And so finding those routines back again. Like I said, this is cracking me up, because we said, this is the time to change, but also you need some routines. So maybe it's a time to really rebuild your routines, but make sure that you introduce it as this is a new year. We're getting ready for the next thing, to get them comfortable, but get into a routine.
Right.
Does that even make sense?
No, it does, because they're going to be new things, but you just have to be consistent in their application of what you're doing. So it can be a new classroom management system, but you're going to, deploy it in a way that is consistent. And then if it doesn't work after winter break, you can change it after spring break. That could be
there's a bunch of we have a couple 3-day weekends. You can even do it then.
You can come back then and say, "Yep, I'm getting you ready. We're trying this thing."
So what we're saying is, if it's not working, it's okay to just put the brakes on and say, "You know what? This is how we're doing it now."
Yeah. You don't have to hold on to it forever.
You can do that. It's okay.
I think for our classroom stories, we should talk about some of our best or funniest gifts that we've received from students. And so Stephanie and I like to end the show with classroom stories or student stories. And I was telling her before the show that about, 10 years ago, there used to be this joke or this trope that teachers always got mugs, for a gift, whether it's, Christmas or whatever it might be. And so people would always give teachers mugs. And so because of that, people stop. Like, I can't even remember the last time a kid gave me a mug, and I would love to have a mug.
See, but I do.
Love to have a mug.
This girl in my class last year gave me the best, maybe because she's trying to make up for stuff, I don't know. But she gave me a lot of really cool gifts that I still use, and I think about her.
See, that's sweet.
And it's sweet. And then there's this creation she made that's on my board still that I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I know that she made it, and she was really proud to give it to me. And usually I put stuff up that they do, and I leave it up for the year.
Oh, she made you like a little crafty thing?
A crafty thing using a bunch of crafty things that she just glued together. It's like, here, I made this for you.
Oh, I love those. What does it look like? A thing?
It is red and green and white.
Oh, okay.
And I believe it's pom-poms and popsicle sticks.
Oh, bless her heart.
It might be like an elf.
Oh, cool.
There's no face. It's a kind of abstract art.
Oh, okay.
And I like it because I remember this little creative person.
Oh, that's so sweet.
One year, this little girl gave me this. I made this for you, and it was cardboard and rocks.
Oh.
And I think she wrote something on it. And it was like this little square thing that she glued everything together.
Oh, like a little cube with little adornments around it?
Sort of.
Okay.
And I was just, and I kept
delightful.
it. Yes, it was because I don't know, a goofy homemade gift is the thing I like.
Oh, those are my favorite. Or little cards where they spell your name also. Like, well, you have a hyphenated name, and then I have a really long name.
Oh, I love my name spellings.
Yeah.
Hedgpeth-Lopez. Oh, Annabelle's kids call me. They thought my name was Pepe Lopez.
Oh, that's sweet. I would love to get a card that said, "Merry Christmas, Miss Pepe Lopez." Yeah, my name already has weird, like letters that aren't pronounced. So I get extra ones thrown in when they write me a card or missing ones or whatever. But I love the little cards they make and they write little messages. That's probably my favorite. It doesn't matter if it's, like a winter gift or whatever.
I'll do is
gift in general.
stick them in a box because I'm really bad about throwing things away. Anyway, I like to just randomly come across them. Like, oh, look.
Oh, yeah. I do that with kids, like pictures that they're giving to me. I have a whole file folder of some.
See, yours are in a file folder. Mine are in random boxes that I just surprise.
Well, you get three-dimensional. I mean, you describing like a cube with rocks glued to it. I just have like pictures. I have flat things that all go in a file folder. I also have my class photo. You know how when they do the photos and you all stand from every single year I've taught. And one of these years, I'm going to frame them all and put them up.
Wow, you probably have them in a folder. Mine are.
They are in a folder. They're in a folder right over there. See?
My gosh, mine are in random boxes. Like, what? Oh my gosh, look at this.
I was also thinking, too, if you're a teacher and you're listening to this, trying to think of what, if you are giving your colleagues a gift, or if a family member is like, oh, what can I get the school, or what can I donate? Stephanie and I discussed, when we were talking about mugs, because she and I have both donated mugs to the staff lounge that are no longer...
They're not
there. And I know what mine were because, actually, this was at a different school, so I can't even blame our friends. I had a bunch of Fiesta-ware mugs. And I was going to say, I hope my husband doesn't hear that. He doesn't listen to this, so I'm going to just... My husband loves Fiesta-ware. If you are not familiar with Fiesta-ware, I want you... Shh. Don't you?
It's really cool.
Okay. It's super cool when
it's the glitter of plates.
It's super cool when it collapses your shelving because it's so heavy. That actually happened to my mother-in-law. Her entire shelving collapsed because
I can see that happening.
Yeah, anyways, Fiesta-ware is super, super thick. And it's fun and colorful. That's why my husband has it, because we have a different color of every plate and blah, blah, blah. But we had more mugs than we've ever had people over at one given time. It was probably 30 mugs. I didn't even know they made them in that many different colors and whatnot. So I brought a bunch to school. Fiesta-ware, if you know it, is very particular. It's bright colors. It's thick. In my last school, there were no longer any Fiesta-ware mugs.
Because people took them. They're like, cool. If somebody left a Fiesta mug, I need that color.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're like, I don't have puce. Anyways, so Stephanie and I are saying that because people stopped giving teachers mugs, you could donate a bunch of mugs to the staff lounge. But but more importantly,
give a fork, people.
Give a fork. Our staff lounge, whenever somebody comes with a salad and they're like, oh no, I forgot a fork, we just know that pain because there's no forks. And then there's no forks on campus because the kids eat with those little plastic sporks that break off in your salad.
Yes.
So you either have to, didn't you try to use 2 knives as a chopstick?
I did try that once.
How'd that work out for you?
Plastic knives are sharper than you think.
They really are. Yeah, don't do that, listener. So yeah, donate a bunch of forks. You could go, I bet you if you went to a thrift store where they're not packaged together, right? You could just buy 30 forks.
Probably. Well, because, Jenny bought this whole little cute, cheap plastic set. All the forks were gone. I cleaned out, I bought some new silverware so I'd actually have some matching silverware.
Right.
And I brought all my other ones.
That's your phone.
That's my phone? Oh my gosh.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like aliens were...
It did sound like aliens.
I'm going to pause this again. We survived the alien attack.
It's weird. Oh my gosh.
So Stephanie and I will pre-chat before and no one talks to us, no one calls us, nothing happens, it's silent. And then as soon as we hit record, the whole world comes. It's like when you're a parent and your children are nowhere to be found, and then you walk into the bathroom and apparently they're like, family meeting. She's in the bathroom.
I got to ask 20 questions through the door.
Through the door and slide my little fingers under. We were talking about buying forks and mugs.
Oh.
Although at my prior school, the one that made the Fiesta-ware disappear, it was spoons we never had.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We had plenty of forks. Every school has plenty of knives. No reason to get knives. But spoons were the thing. And I really hate to say this. I think I have one of the spoons.
Well, see, I do understand how they... end up because you'll eat and the bell rings and you just throw it in your lunch thing and it goes home and then it disappears there.
Yeah, but I feel like every school has a utensil that is missing.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I feel like every school has somebody. If this is you, shame on you, person that's listening. Every school has somebody who eats oatmeal at school and then leaves the bowl in the sink We have somebody.
Really?
Yes, I'm not going to say who it is. I have my ideas of who it is. But yeah, every school I have, and I get it, they're trying to soak it out or whatever. But every school I've been to, the staff lunch has an oatmeal person.
Jeez.
Hey, listener, if you have an oatmeal person, or if you are the oatmeal person, please email podcast@thetimecrunch.teacher, because I need to know I'm not alone on this, because I've worked at a few different schools and they're always missing one type of utensil. It's a weird mishmash of mugs and there's never enough. And then
Someone soaks the oatmeal bowl.
yeah, somebody soaks the oatmeal bowl.
Well, at least they soak it.
That's
Not like
true.
in my house. People put stuff. It's like, why didn't you soak this bowl?
It's because it becomes concrete. I have a Christmas gift that I would like to share. My story, if you would like to hear
Oh,
it.
yes.
So it was probably my second or third year teaching middle school, and I was fairly young. I must have been, whatever, like 25-ish. And I was teaching sixth grade, and they were all sweet. They all came in, and they put little gifts on my desk, and they were adorable. And you know how sometimes they want them to open up in front of you, and look at I got you this thing, or whatever. It's adorable. This one little boy walks in, and he like kind of tosses the gift at me, and he's like, I don't know what it is. My mom got it, which is adorable because that's normally what you hear. I don't know what this is, but something in me, deep down, I don't know if it was an intuition or a divine spirit, said, don't open this gift. Like, don't open this gift in front of everybody. I was opening all the gifts because all the kids said, open it. And something told me, don't open this gift. Here's why that intuition was right.
Uh-oh.
It ended up being a gift card, so it wasn't like a weird gift. But what I found out later is that the mom had this kid, he had an older sister, right? So the mom had another daughter. And she was like either 19 or 21-ish or whatever, like college age. And the mom told her, go get a gift card for the teacher. Okay, so this is early 2000s. Bless her heart, that sister went and got a Victoria's Secret gift card. Because when you're 21, that's apparently where you spend your money. I didn't.
We got to get all that pink stuff.
That's true. So this little boy had no idea that he just handed me a Victoria's Secret gift card. And something in the universe told me not to open it. And I did not open it. But I just like to say, I'm not giving any revealing facts of where I worked or whatever. But if you were a sixth grade boy and you were in my class in the early 2000s, I would like karmic credit for saving you the humiliation. Could you imagine a sixth grade boy, like the teacher ends up Victoria? Like that's
There was
mortifying.
a Leave It to Beaver episode like that.
Oh, seriously? Oh, wasn't it perfume or something?
No, the mom had ordered a slip and some handkerchiefs.
Oh.
When she got the teacher handkerchiefs.
Oh, got it.
But the packages got mixed up. And Beaver was really embarrassed that he gave a slip to his teacher.
I know. See, I saved that boy.
Yes, because Beaver, it was a half hour of trauma.
Yeah. See, I feel like this is me bragging. About kid. That's mortifying. I was actually a little mortified to receive it. Like, it just felt very. But again, once I got the whole story, like, because I think mom was a little mortified too, and like whatever. So yeah, it was older sister.
Like Starbucks.
Totally. Lesson learned: don't have your eldest child buy a gift for the younger child's teacher, because you never know. Nowadays, we'd probably get like Roblox bucks or something gaming,
although I don't know, I have a
related.
soft spot in my heart for the little cardboard with rocks glued to it.
That is really cute. That's super cute. I hope I get some little homemade project, not with glitter. Yeah, Stephanie and I have a running joke about glitter. I actually got it was a teacher appreciation gift last year that it was a card that had a bunch of glitter on it, and the mom wrote, I think I even showed you, she wrote on the outside, glitter inside. She told me, she forewarned me, glitter inside. Thank you so much for being here, Stephanie. I was so excited that we finally got to.
And remember the messages, change, but don't change anything.
Change everything, but keep it all the same. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Until next time, teachers. Bye for now.
Bye.